We are live, finally. Let's double check. Check, check, check. You are live. Good afternoon, Columbus, Ohio. Or, good afternoon, our Goodwill community. This is Anthony Hawkins over here at the Goodwill Work and Community Center. I apologize for the tardiness of our trivia this Wednesday. We're having some technical difficulties, but we think we got everything ironed out. And without further ado, again, my name's Anthony Hawkins, and hello, we have our superhero trivia for today. In our superhero trivia, we're going to be looking at some Marvel Studio and DC comic superheroes. So let's get at it. Our very first question this Wednesday is, what is the name of the newspaper that Peter Parker works at? We got a couple choices here for you. Was it the Daily Planet, the Daily Bugle, the Daily Buzz, or was it the Star Ledger? Where did Peter Parker work? Go to the next screen. In the spectacular Spider-Man, the Daily Bugle is where he worked, and it is a New York newspaper led by an irascible, gruff publisher named J. Jonah Jameson. The Daily Bugle is a frequently visited location by many of the series characters, including Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And there's some other facts there on the side. You might want it. Peter Parker has an IQ of 250, which means he might very well be the very smartest superhero, even smarter than Batman. Our next character we're going to look at is the Black Panther. There's some interesting facts about the Black Panther. Wakanda is the most advanced civilization on Earth in the Marvel Universe. Black Panther's claws have the Antarctic vibranium, which breaks down almost any metal that it comes in contact with. And Black Panther is immune to all poisons and diseases known to man and is known to have run 50 miles an hour. And he has the ability to see in the dark and has mastered many martial arts and is the wealthiest superhero in the world. And his suit is completely bulletproof, which means he could never be shocked. Let's move on. Lee, meaning Stan Lee, co-created Black Panther along with writer and artist Jack Kirby. Black Panther first appeared in an issue of the Fantastic Four in 1966. Wasn't even thought about in 1966. Represented the first superhero of African descent into mainstream American comics. Our question is, Black Panther rich or poor? And how much is he worth? Is he rich or is he poor? Actually, I gave it away earlier. Black Panther is the richest superhero who has an estimate value of 500 billion, whereas Tony Stark is only worth 100 billion. And Bruce Wayne, a mere 80 billion. He's poor. Need to get on Black Panther's level there, Bruce Wayne. Next question. How did the Fantastic Four get their superpowers? Were they born with them? Did they take part in a science experiment? Or was their spaceship hit by a cosmic radiation? Or did they just wake up out of bed and have these powers one day? How did they get their powers? And that would be the Thing, Invisible Girl, Stretch. I don't think he called his name Stretch, though. I forget what his name is. And I believe the other dude's name is Firestorm. The Fantastic Four all got their powers at the same time. They were test pilots or astronauts on an experimental rocket ship where they were in outer space and their ship was bombarded by a cosmic radiation. I wonder if that was painful. Sounds painful. Definitely sounds painful. Our next question. Who is faster? The Flash or Quicksilver? I actually found out where Quicksilver got his powers from. But who's faster? Flash or Quicksilver? With great effort, the Flash may reach the speed of light. The speed of light in a vacuum is 186 per hour, or I'm sorry, miles per second. Or in miles per hour, the light speed is 670,616,629 miles per hour. I don't need to be a mathematician to know that that's pretty darn fast. And Quicksilver, he just ran a mere 2,000 to 3,000 miles per hour. With that being said, Flash is way faster than Quicksilver. Flash may be the fastest superhero of all time. Next question. What was the color? It was my coworker using his French connections. What was the color of the Hulk originally? What was his color? Believe it or not, the original Hulk was not green. What color do you think it was? I wish I had my music, my Jeopardy music. His original color was gray. The original Hulk color was gray. The reason why they went to green was they said in some of the black and white comics, you couldn't tell whether his color was gray or whether he was black or whether he was white. So they wanted to go with gray or go with green because it was easier to tell whether he's green versus either white, black, or gray. So I did not know that. That's something that I learned as doing the research. Batman, facts of Batman. Did you know that Superman has admitted that Batman is one of the things that scares him? The Dark Knight would scare me too. The Dark Knight, he had 127 martial arts styles. He had spoke 23 languages. His IQ was 192. And we learned earlier that Peter Parker was over 200. So Batman or Spider-Man is smarter than Batman. He can deadlift 600 to 1,000 pounds, but we're going to learn that's peanuts compared to some of our other superheroes and what they could lift. He micro sleeps. He's gone up to 80 hours without sleep. Can you imagine it? 80 hours without sleep. Could you sleep 80 hours without sleeping? Nah, I can barely handle 12 hours without sleeping, without falling down going to sleep. And we just found out what his net worth is. He's worth more than 7 billion. I think we said $8 billion. There's a book called Becoming Batman, possibly, or the possibility of a superhero, which was written by a neuroscientist, which covers the detail of how much an ordinary person would need to train and adapt to become Batman. That's why Batman's one of my favorite comedians. Comedians. I said comedian. There's nothing funny about Batman. Um, he's one of my favorite superheroes because he was man-made. Like he made himself. He didn't wasn't made in a lab or bitten by a bug or hit by meteors in space. Like he made himself into a superhero. And Superman came up with a code for Batman to use whenever he needed its help. This code's name was none other than Banana Muffin. One of my favorite things to eat back in the day was banana muffins. Batman has beaten 3 Marvel characters in a crossover into the Marvel Universe. Can you name those 3 individuals? And without further ado, the fact is, Batman is beating 3 Marvel characters in crossovers, including Captain America, the Incredible Hulk, and the Punisher. I like the Punisher. Next slide. Next guy we're going to be looking at is the Iron Man. How well do you know your Iron Man? Did you know that Tony Stark was based off of a millionaire industrialist, Howard Hughes? Did you know that Tony Stark graduated from MIT with degrees in 20 or with multiple degrees when he was 21 years of age? He is friends with Captain America now. We all knew that. That's not something we didn't know. We all know that. We've all watched the Avengers of Endgame. We all knew that. Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man in the movie versions. We all like that too. Going to be sad to see that man go. He's no longer going to be playing Iron Man anymore. When fully powered, Tony Stark can lift how many tons in the Iron Man suit? How many tons can he lift? Now, we just found out that Batman could deadlift 600 to 1,000 pounds. So that means in his suit, Iron Man is probably going to lift more. How much more? 100 tons or 2,000 pounds for all you mathematicians are able to take. 100 multiplied times 2,000 or 2. Yeah. That's a lot of weight. Here's some fun facts about Superman and an Incredible Hulk. First, we're going to look at Superman. Superman, his original name was, on the planet Krypton, was Kal-El. Superman was actually killed by villain Doomsday in a 1993 comic. And then he was later brought back to life. He got stronger and better over time. And the reason why they got better over time is because he was exposed to the sun. So the longer he's exposed to the sun, the stronger his powers become. For example, when he initially came to Earth, he couldn't do nothing but jump for long ways, and he couldn't fly. So the more he was around the sun, he adapted the ability to be able to fly. His middle name is Joseph. He's 6'4" and weighs 225 pounds. Sounds like an inside linebacker for the Ohio State Buckeyes. We could probably use Superman this year with all those graduations. His secret headquarters is called the Fortress of Solitude, and he gave Batman a piece of kryptonite, which can be used if Superman becomes out of control. Yeah, it's good to know. I can go call Batman whenever Superman becomes crazy. Get that kryptonite. Fun facts about the Incredible Hulk. we learned earlier that his original color was gray. Hawk has many unknown powers, such as the ability to breathe underwater. He has healing powers, such as Wolverine. He can leap into space. And this was something I did not know. He has the ability to see ghosts. He can see, uh, who was the Doctor Strange, when Doctor Strange is in his orbit world, the Incredible Hulk can see him. I just learned that. Hulk was inspired by a woman who lifted a car to save her newborn baby. In the early series, the Incredible Hulk only transformed at night versus how he does it now is he transforms when he becomes angry. Kind of happens to me sometimes when I get angry and upset. But I've been working on it because you won't like me when I'm angry. He can travel, we know that he can travel longer than 3 miles with one bound because we know that he can jump into space. And he once punched and destroyed a planet with one punch. Mighty powerful guy there. So the question was, actually, I forgot to put the question in there. Who is the strongest? Superman or the Hulk? Which one of these gentlemen is the strongest? Do you know? Do you know? And I'll tell you with the next slide. In fact, that Superman's strength is infinite. He cannot lift more than the Hulk. That's because the Hulk's strength is technically infinite. This means while there may be other beings who can match his strength, no one can exceed it. And that's the reason is the Hulk could be getting beat, and what he does is he gets angrier, and when he gets angrier, he's able to beat the people that he's beating. So Hulk can never be beaten. He's indestructible. But we learned earlier that Batman beat him. I would love to see that battle of him and Batman. That had to be outstanding work. And to leave you today from our superhero trivia, we're going to leave you with a quote. And the quote is none other from the mighty, beautiful Miss Wonder Woman. She says, "Please take my hand. I give it to you as a gesture of friendship and love and of faith freely given. I give you my hand and welcome you into my dream." Thank you all for joining us today. Again, we apologize for the lateness of our show today. Hope you enjoyed it and look forward to spending time with you in the near future. Have a good afternoon, folks.